Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to have a little chat about two things what have come up recently. And the first is a rumour from Fate212, and this is an interesting one just because it seems plausible, but not 100% plausible. It's weird. I don't know how to approach it. So basically, we know that Kill Team is on the way. We know that's a thing that is happening. We know that that is what is going to be released in future by Games Workshop. That's not really a rumour because we know that bit to be true. What it actually is the rumour that there's going to be a Rogue Trader Kill Team and that it's going to be a box set. So it's going to be Kill Team, but it's going to be a Nurgle team and a Rogue Trader team, which will be its own box set. And on the one hand, I can kind of see that a little bit, but not in the way that it's being suggested. So it's via an anonymous source, so no idea who actually is who said this. So in terms of gauging kind of previous predictions being correct or whatever, impossible to do. The idea of a Rogue Trader Kill Team isn't actually that outlandish, I don't think. When you look at the various special characters that have been produced for Necromunda, actually a Rogue Trader Kill Team makes sense. The thing is, I would expect a Rogue Trader Kill Team to come from Forge World, not from Games Workshop. I mean, all the Bounty Hunter stuff has come from Forge World, and for the most part, they've had some interesting and actually genuinely pretty nice designs. I mean, we've had the Squat, we've had that weird mercenary that looks nothing like anything we've seen in 40k before, really, which is why I really like it. A Rogue Trader Kill Team would actually probably do pretty well, and if it was part of the kind of special characters thing that Forge World does, and especially since it seems to be focusing more on things like specialist games and character series stuff now than anything else, as we've seen from the unfortunate removal of a bunch of Horus Heresy shit. That side of it, I can see. Like, if the rumour was, oh, for Kill Team, there's going to be a Rogue Trader set that you can get from Forge World, I would be all over that. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I can easily see that. I can see that really kind of... That wouldn't even be a rumour, in a way. I would expect to see something like that for that game. But an actual box set containing what I would assume would be a plastic Rogue Trader Kill Team. I mean, that's the thing. Kill Team is going to be usable with a load of armies. It's going to be usable by the current factions and so on, and all of that stuff is plastic. It's all Games Workshop. It's the same with Necromunda. It's, you know, it's multi-part kits. It's not resin unless you get the Bounty Hunters from Forge World. It's a weird one. I also can't really see them doing a specific Nurgle set for Kill Team. I can see them reusing older molds, I can see them reusing stuff that they put out with Dark Imperium, for instance, but an actual dedicated Kill Team set would be a bit odd. Now, it could just be that actually that stuff is just standard, it's just standard Nurgle fare, you would be able to get that stuff regardless, it's not new, it's just that's what's going to be packaged with it. I can actually see that being the case, in a way, because Nurgle are the chosen enemy at the moment. They are the big push for chaos, and they have been since the release of Dark Imperium. We've had loads of new Nurgle releases, I would say quite probably to the detriment of the other chaos stuff that's out there. So that side of things I can kind of see. Again though, it also brings into question that idea of Games Workshop releasing something that is not power armor flavoured, especially for something like Kill Team. You would kind of expect there to be some form of loyalist power armor in there, although having said that, you know, literally as I've said that, Forgebane I think surprised everybody. It definitely surprised me in that was a big box set with a ridiculous, just massive discounts thrown onto it that had nothing to do with Space Marines. So maybe this is yet another expansion into the idea of box sets that do not have to have both flavours of power armor, or at least doesn't have to have loyalist power armor in it. It's a weird rumour. It's one of those things where I can kind of see, but it's like, I can see it, but the details are off. I would really like Games Workshop to properly expand out and make it so that this kind of thing was more a bit off the wall, a bit out of left field, something a bit unexpected, something that is designed to surprise and entice the customer by kind of, I guess, taking the expectation and switching it. You expect a product to have, Loyalist power armor. Instead, you get Chaos power armor, and instead, like on the Imperium side, you'd have something completely different. Something you just don't really see mentioned all that much anymore in the form of a rogue trader kill team. Is it likely? I don't know. It's too weird to be likely, and I think it's also too weird to be unlikely, given the kind of attitude that I think Forgebane has represented from Games Workshop. It's not as completely off the wall as it would have been. If this had been something that had been, hinted at before Forgebane, I would outright be going, nah, there's no way. Absolutely no chance. But I have to admit that Forgebane kind of subverted expectations a little bit. Now, of course, we did have the Execution Force with the Assassins and the Chaos stuff. That obviously came out before Forgebane, but Forgebane was, I think, sufficiently different from a lot of what we've seen before that it's kind of made me a bit wary to outright dismiss stuff that doesn't automatically fit the expectation that I previously had for stuff like this. I'd really like it to be true. I really would, but to me, I feel like there's more chance of it being a box set that is kind of standard Games Workshop fare, and then something like a Rogue Trader team being available from Forge World than anything else. But on the other hand, I kind of hope that that's not the case. I would really like this to be true, just because it's kind of interesting. It's kind of weird. It's a little bit different. It's not what I would expect. And Games Workshop actually doing that would be a really good indicator that they are making a determined effort to change things up, to switch up the way they market stuff, to switch up the kits they sell, to kind of promote an interest in things that are above what I would class as the surface level of Warhammer 40k. I know I've mentioned this before, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who disagree with me, but to me, Space Marines especially are like, it's going to sound very gatekeeper-ish, but I don't know how else to describe it. Space Marines are the easy entryway into Warhammer 40,000. They are the thing that Games Workshop pushes the most. They are the things with the most support. They are the things that have had God knows how many releases at this point. It's ludicrous how big the Space Marine range is compared to pretty much every other range. They are the gateway into Warhammer 40,000. I'd like to see them try and push other stuff more, to try and actually show new people that there is far more to this universe and to the various games within than just Ultramarines in now Mark X or Mark 10, depending on which you want to go for, power armor. So yeah, I hope it's true, but it's weird. It's a weird one. Be interesting what you think about that one, actually. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, and it's difficult. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, which we don't normally do, we don't normally cover the Rumour Engine pictures, because a lot of the time, frankly, the Rumour Engine pictures, whilst they do fuel like 18 comments worth of speculation across various forums and subreddits, are not that interesting. A close-up shot of an engine housing is not what I'd call a prime discussion material. A hand holding a chain, again, not really what I'd go for in terms of, ooh, what could this be? But there is something that's a little bit different this time, which I actually quite like, and I think it's actually something that could be interesting, depending on what it is, obviously. So it'll be on the screen right about now. That is quite clearly a very large face, and so far there's been a lot of discussion all over the place, really, as to whether this could in fact be the face of a very large Ghazghkull, whether this is the prime orc thing that we have been hearing about for God knows how long. There's been so many rumours, so many speculation things. There's just been a lot of chatter about the possibility of Ghazghkull returning as a prime orc. Basically just a fucking massive orc. Think Beast Arises orc. And there's a lot of kind of speculation that that's what this could be. The thing is, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing mostly squig, if I'm honest. I think it might still be something orky. It definitely has that kind of, I guess, kind of almost snaggle-tooth kind of look to it. It seems very squig-like. Whether it's 40k or AOS, I don't know. But it does seem like that is what it's leaning towards. Obviously, it's kind of hard to tell from that picture, deliberately so. That's the whole point of Rumour Engine. But part of me does kind of hope that it is something orc-based. Something Warhammer 40k orc-based. But I don't know whether it is. There is also the possibility that it's nothing to do with orcs or squigs or anything like that. It could be something Deepkin related. That's also possible. I mean, the Deepkin have already had the bulk of their releases, so I'd be surprised if it was. But it could be hinting at something, quite far away. There's not really a set kind of time on when these things are put out, I don't think. We had stuff teased for the Custody stuff, like, I don't even know how far in advance. So this could be something that turns up in the next month, or it could be something that turns up in the next 6 months. It's kind of hard to tell, but I would be surprised if it was a Prime Orc situation. I would be far less surprised if it was a squig, and I would be a little bit disappointed if it was something Deepkin related, which is the only other thing that I could think it could be at this point, looking at it. So, yeah, I guess for this one, I just kind of want to know what you think. I mean, do you buy into the Prime Orc theory? Do you think that's how Ghazghkull's going to come back? Do you reckon this is something related to that? Could it just be a giant squig that he's got with him, maybe? Is it even a giant squig, or is it just a very close-up photo of a very small squig that's part of a completely different kit? It does also raise the question of, are the orcs going to get new kits when their codex arrives? Given the trends, it's difficult to say. I would kind of say probably not. But then again, if you're going to release a massive version of Ghazghkull, that would be the time to do it. I mean, a lot of the orc range desperately needs updating. Well, having said that, so does a lot of the Eldar stuff, and they didn't get jack shit. So it's a little bit tricky, but yeah, I actually found this particular Rumour Engine picture genuinely interesting, and there's a good amount of speculation that can come out of it, unlike, frankly, a lot of the other stuff that I see on the Rumour Engine stuff. I like that they do it, and I know that there are going to be people out there who actually really enjoy it, regardless of what the image is. Personally, I prefer things like this, that you can really, I was going to say sink your teeth into, but that's a terrible joke given what the picture is. I can't help myself, I nearly did it. And then I just said it out loud anyway, so I might as well just carry on. Anyway, let me know what you think about both the rumour of a rogue trader kill team and whatever the hell the toothy bastard is in the picture. Yeah, both of them kind of interesting. I like it when it's interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments below. In the meantime, feel free to click this video or that video. That's very coordinated nearly. And the Patreon, subscribe, all of that shit. Click it if you like. Don't click it if you don't want to. And I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.